Hi, everybody. It's Les McGehee from Rialto Academy. So happy to be with you. Today, we get to meet one of my favorite people in the whole world, Rialto Academy coach, consultant, bon vivant, real estate icon, and minister of choice, your friend and mine, the handsome and brilliant Mel Reed. Hello, Mel.
Les, it's a pleasure. Thank you for reading that exactly the way I wrote it. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we know about you over here, and I've been a fan of your work for years, and I'm so glad that we get to work with you through Rialto Academy and be an influence on your businesses. So today's an opportunity for us to learn a little bit about you. The deal is, Mel, is a lot of people that we work with, a lot of our favorite smart people who will never ever meet someone else with your particular combinations of background. So one of the things I'm really curious about is, let's go ahead and start with your real estate background. So in your real estate, give us a picture of your real estate business right now, would you?
Yeah, I got into real estate about 20 years ago, left corporate America, and I thought, is there life after that steady income and the way that corporate America operates? Did not know exactly what I was getting into, but absolutely loved it. 20 years, was a part of 3 different companies. Part of that 20 years, I spent 5 years as a national trainer with Realogy, Century 21 ERA, Caldwell Banker, going coast to coast and border to border training offices so that their agents understood that they made a great decision when they bought that franchise. Now, I love that. That was great. We also had a part of 2 different franchises. Right now, we're part of another big one. Bought that franchise about 6 years ago. And as a result, we went from 42 agents when we bought the franchise, me and 3 other partners, to right now we have a little over 400 agents. We're number 1 in the MLS. We're number 1 in the state, and we're number 1 in our region with the national organization. So needless to say, it's been really, really fun growing like that. I think what I did is I took my corporate experience, converted that over to entrepreneurship, which I've been an entrepreneur all my life, and it's worked out really well. We've got a team, my personal team, is about 15 people, and we're doing some pretty good numbers in addition to that. The biggest thing I think for agents, and this is one of the things that when I first got into it, the model back then was the broker would say, hey, we're glad you have a license. Now, here's a phone. Good luck. That was
Yeah. Yeah. We have drilled down on that quite a bit since then, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
I believe you're up in, are you in Colorado today? I believe you're doing some training for your franchise operations out of Colorado right now.
Yeah, that is correct. And it just so happens I did training in Southern Colorado and headed back north to Denver to do another session. And in the midst of that, it was I think the largest blizzard they've had in 35 years. I'm right now as we speak in a hotel room, stuck and working. So I'm actually have some quiet time getting some stuff done. So yeah, it was great. I love training new agents, experienced agents, brokers. I've had comments from people across the country, and it's just really fulfilling.
Yeah, we get uniquely valuable feedback from your events. They're really warm. I suppose one of the things that contributes to that warmth is your perspective on family and your ministry. And your ministry is perhaps best represented in some ways by the literature that you've written. Can you tell us a couple of things about ministry in your business life and the titles that you're putting out this year?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've been in men's ministry for probably 25 years. Worked for Promise Keepers. A lot of people will remember them as an organization that really focused on helping families grow and to do a better job as leaders of families. Right now, I put out, I think I'm working on my 6th book. the first two, James, you and I, which is a conversation format, did Peter 1. I've done a real estate book. I'm working on Man Quest, which will be released probably in the next month. And then I'm working on a journey book, which actually takes, last year I took a little journey of 10,000 miles, drove to Alaska and back. And a part of that was the ability to have that type of quiet downtime, having a great real estate team in place. I took that journey as a result of losing my wife of 35 years, and I took 8 weeks, and I drove to Alaska and back, and I just searched for myself. That was a lot of that journey, is finding out who I was, because when you've been married that long and you become really in one with each other. So I had to figure out who I am as an individual. But yeah, the ministry part, I have coached people over the years, and I always look at the entire picture because if it's affecting you in your personal life, it's affecting you in your business life. So what we try to do is make sure that we get information out there. This latest book that I'm working on right now will be the journey, and hopefully someone can read that and not have to jump in a Tundra pickup with a camper behind and go 10,000 miles to learn some of the greatest lessons that I've ever learned in my life.
That's just a great story. I tracked with you, as our viewers wouldn't know that yet. I tracked with you while you were doing that, and it was inspirational in a number of ways. The way that you chose to find strength and help others as you sorted out your own grieving process. I was incredibly impressed by that, Mel. I already respected your work immensely, yet that was something to see, buddy. That was really something to see. So you're also a One Thing certified trainer. I want to get that in here. Like all of our Rialto Academy coaches and consultants and thought leaders happen to be part of the One Thing certification program. We met them as people committing to that. Are you still teaching One Thing sessions?
I am. As a matter of fact, part of that class on Tuesday in Pueblo included components of the One Thing. Whenever you ask that focusing question, what's the one thing I can do today that such by doing it makes everything else easier or unnecessary, it actually stops people. They have to think about that. And then we get into the 66-day challenge, and great material. We have some great sessions around that. I got a text when I was leaving Pueblo the other day, and the operating principal of that market center texted me, and he said, "The agents are buzzing. When can we get you back?" And you always want to hear that. You know, it's not like, well, thanks a lot, hope you don't come back type of message. You don't want that.
Yeah. Well, the One Thing is fantastic content. As you know, I love it too. And it's easier to sell than a stick in the eye, isn't it?
It is. It's my granddad used to say, it's better than hitting the head with a sharp rock.
Yeah, it's a wise man. Even though you're busy with your franchise, I say busy, I know that you're poised more than you're busy, yet even though you have your ongoing commitments supporting your franchise ownership, your team ownership, growing agents and teams through your training, it's exciting to me that you're still accepting coaching clients, and we're really happy that we get to be part of that. So you have room for coaching clients now, even while you're doing this other activity. Is that right?
That is correct. And I've coached real estate agents for 18 of those 20 years. One of the things, I give you a little background. I graduated college, was on the football team, going into education, teaching and coaching, K through 12, something to get a job. And one of the things that I realized is I love growing people. I loved when you're coaching individuals and you are able to give them a concept that opens up their new reality of their business or their personal life. What happens is now they're building a stronger foundation and able to grow. So I did that for quite a few years, certified in Lori Beth Jones material. My mentor, Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar. And I did find out, Les, that, you know, motivation is really good. We need it. Education is also great, but motivation is temporary. Our job is to inspire people, because that is lasting. That's one of those things that will carry someone through the rough times, through the great times. When you're inspired and you are critically thinking and focused on your business, great things happen. And that's one of the reasons I love coaching people.
Yeah, I would agree that that's where we get addicted, isn't it? Is the fantastic results that the clients get, and when they run with the ball like that, and that is the moment, right? And it's the way I think you and I have discussed how inspiration changes somebody's identity, and the change in their identity allows them to make behavior choices. And we're aware that the difference between teachers and consultants, the way they vary from coaches, is that coaches have to be able to create behavior change. And having somebody be inspired changes their identity changes their relationship to their habits and behaviors. And we love to dig down on that. I know another batch of information that you bring to the table that we really love is your Dave Ramsey work as well. Does that Dave Ramsey work show up in your coaching?
It does. I think it couldn't help but do that, because when you're working with an individual, if they have money concerns, it's going to take their focus away from their primary business. So what we do is we get into just high level. We don't get into a full program. But I was certified with Dave Ramsey years ago, taught Peace University. I'm a certified ELP with Dave Ramsey in the real estate world. And part of that program is taking agents and saying, you know, one of the things you need to realize, and this is another thing I like doing with people, is you get them focused on their finances, and you show them how to grow their income. Then you also show them that real estate isn't about buying and selling houses. It's helping people. And as a result, you as an individual can also increase your wealth by investing in real estate. So it's kind of a whole ecosystem, if you will, that people understand. If they're in this industry, they have the ability not to just feed their families, but to feed their generational influence over years and years and years. By making a few of the great decisions now, it can affect the entire future for them and their families. And I love doing that kind of thing.
Ah, man, brother, that's how we're going to affect the world. That's where we have our opportunity to show our purpose and our faith and our focus and change the world, is by growing these people into their higher potential. That's such a great description, Mel. Let's see. I got a selfish question for you here is, how's that cabin going, Mel?
Well, it's going well. You know, and the one thing we teach about building a bunker, I took that literally, and I built a cabin. And it's up in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas, where I can just go. It's so quiet, Les. The only thing I hear is cows, birds, and maybe a plane flying over every now and then. So I get to the point, and I train people on this all the time. You've got to have that space, that quiet time where you can get together. It's like E-Myth Revisited. So many of us work in our business, and we never take time to work on our business. There lies the important part of building a business, is not just working in it, but focused and working on it so that you can be thinking, critical thinking, and move your business forward year after year after year. And this is a place, that cabin, is one of my places where I just enjoy shutting it down. I drive over a cattle guard, and when I do that, the rest of the world goes this way, and then I can really focus on my business, on my personal life, developing the future for, you know, I've got 5 kids, 10 grandkids. So I focus on, you know, what's my legacy for them? I think that's an important question. And my legacy is being there and encouraging them. And over time, the legacy is really the people that we influence and the lives that we change. And that's what we're all about at Rialto. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for putting it so well. Yeah, you inspire us as well, Mel. And well, a lot of people would say that they built a cabin. They didn't really build it with their bare hands, and yet you show the combination of thought leadership and heart. Yet it's also very interesting that you activated that cabin with your bare hands.
I did. Yeah, kind of interesting. I've got two brothers. We bought 80 acres and we actually felled the trees, cut the lumber, built the cabin, and equipped it. It's just one of those projects. For me, it's therapy. It's one of those projects. You know, I spent time in the U.S. Navy. I spent time in college. I spent time coaching. I got into telecommunications and spent 20 years in corporate America and now 20 years in real estate. And through all of that, you realize that anything that you do is really hands-on. If you take an approach that I'm going to let someone else do this and I'm going to leave my hands off of it, guess what? Your vested interest goes down real quick and the results, you're not going to measure those. So yeah, I enjoy all of it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic lesson and inspiration. And I know how much your cabin means to you extra because of the way you did that. And that's a story for all of us to benefit from. Well, those of you that are watching us today, thank you very much. You can get access to some Mel influence, and we have some group coaching programs and some courses being announced. If you'll watch your email feed for that, go to the Rialto Academy website. We'd love to have you as a member to where you receive our newsletter and our feed. And to find out more information about being able to have access to Mel as a consultant or a coach, you can reach out to me directly as always, Les at Rialto Academy. That's Les with one S. Thank you very much. Les at Rialto Academy. Or of course, you can find Mel, who has his own training company, Optimus Training and Development. You can find him on the web or reach out to us through Rialto. We're really happy to facilitate that for you. And Mel, we're extremely proud to have you on the team. Thank you so much.
Les, thank you. And it is an honor for me to be part of this organization as we change lives together. Thank you very much.
Well, there's another set of questions I have for you, yet that's all the time we have for today. So we'll have to wait till the next conversation. Stay safe up there in that spectacular weather happening in Colorado right now. Congratulations on the progress of your franchises. And I'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks, Les.